Yeah, who needs a ban list when Toons are the best deck? So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on. We had another ban list, no ban list event where we get to see just the terror of Toons coming together. This was a very unexpected turn of events, and of course this event allowing them to have access to unreleased cards actually is kind of crazy. So they basically created like a limbo format for no ban list, which is crazy. So your breakdown for this event is very interesting. Rizel still appears to be on top with numbers. Now remember, I mean, Rizel's job is to make Abyss Dweller and to try to lock Tearlaments out of playing the game. That has been kind of the game plan that this format has produced, and that's actually been fine. But to my surprise, the craziest deck coming out of nowhere was just Toons. Toons has access to just one of the cheesiest FTKs you can do in the game, which is just 2 blue-eyes Toon Dragons attacking directly against the opponent. Like, you win the game just off of that alone. So, painful choice, turboing through some of these options. You know, also, Shadow Toon being able to do some burn damage to the opponent is also really, really crazy. Because if you control a Toon monster, you can target face a monster your opponent controls, inflict damage to your opponent. So, you know, you've got really, really weird options. We also had one Tearlaments build in the tournament, which is not all that crazy. We did have Magical Scientist, which whenever there is a no ban list tournament, you're always going to see Magical Scientist coming around. Like, it's his job to, you know, just kind of be like the boogeyman of the format, and somebody's always going to do it. And we also had a Makiura FTK also running around. It's just crazy looking at the fundamentals of this format and seeing the different ideas that players are kind of bringing to the table here, which is actually kind of cool. Now let's pass on over to deck list. All right, so deck list time. So winning our event was actually Toons, and just playing a singular copy of the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon to be able to facilitate going through the combo lines. Because remember, 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Twin Dragons is enough to be able to attack directly, to be able to do exactly what you wanted to do. Now, the rest of the Toon stuff is pretty simple. You know, you're going to be just digging through the deck to find these Toons to be able to cycle through the big dragons, kind of do your thing. I also see, yes, As a Thought becomes a interesting card along the way. Ptolemaios, you know, a lot of the standard stuff that you're used to seeing. I also see we're playing Confiscation in here as well. You know, this is a scenario that I didn't think people would come up with to make it viable, but to see that Toons actually are playable in this format is just an absolute W. Now, second place is Rizel with Rapier, and of course, Zoodiac Barrage. I mean, hey, these are 2 level 4 bodies you just get to slap onto the field for free, and you kind of get to do some Shockmaster things. If you've not realized, Shockmaster and, of course, Abyss Dweller, 2 very, very funny, absolutely sane and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh cards here, are absolutely broken in this format. You know, these cards exist to be able to kind of slow down the pace of the game. If you've not realized, like, this format is entirely, absolutely, and utterly broken in the way that, you know, you try to do things. It's why things like good old Dimension Shifter here is an actual try to solidly stop the format and at least, you know, and make it so that Tearlaments players can't have fun. And also, you know, Mystic Mine actually does exist within the confines of the format as well. So I guess it's every player's dream. Next up, we have another Toon deck. Oh boy, and this build is actually playing the painful choices to make the painful decision. I mean, right? Every painful choice turns into one Blue Eyes Toon Ultimate Dragon, and then you're just kind of like, oh, okay, shuffle back. Hey, want to watch me do it again? I actually cannot physically believe that this format has just turned into a Turbo Stop Blue Eyes Ultimate Toon Showdown, where you're just kind of dumping through these options and just kind of going like, this is absolutely wonderful. I also see we do have things like Emptiness. We do have, Red Reboot. If you were trying to play some sort of stun deck to try to slow down the pace of the invading monsters, it's not going to happen. Also, shout out to Harmonium. This build actually is taking advantage of Harmonium versus the other list that wasn't even giving a two rat's butt at looking at this. Next up here, we have the fearful and quite broken Tearlaments deck. When you have the absolute 2,880 points that this deck wants to have, you have full millers in here. You have the resetters so you can maintain your resources, and your job is to be able to, set up the window. I also see that we are playing the Weaver of Fairy Tales in here as well. I mean, you have access to snow, you may as well, right? And of course, double Lava Volcane and Azathoth, and we're able to make the Ptolemaios to kind of go to town. And on top of it, we're getting access into Sprite Elf. Is funny. If you also notice, we are doing Exchange of the Spirits in here, the transaction rollback. So as your deck just naturally mills down enough of those resources, you are naturally going to be able to, do exactly what you want to see. So, I mean, seems worthwhile. Next up, there he is, the man, the myth, the FTK legend himself. Magical Scientist is the guy who is the boogeyman in this format. He's the deck that you look at in this format and you're like, all right, cool. So it's just assembled Independent Nightingale, cycle through some Starving Venom Dragons, and congratulations, you're basically able to do your thing. I mean, cheating these out's really easy when you have access to Corvatures just off of a cha-ching, pay 1,000 life points. We got access to the pieces that we want. In terms of side deck, I mean, we have some shifters down here to be able to do some crazy things. But outside of that, I mean, your deck is just how degenerately fast can we slap on the helmet and crash course through the meta? Because I think you've got a pretty good idea of what you're trying to do with this deck. Also, Last Will being in its former incarnation is absolutely a bonkers card for this deck. Next up, we have more Rizal. Now, this list has taken the approach of, what if we play all the broken trap cards? See, this is why people are playing triple Red Reboot, because when you have things like Royal Oppression and triple Imperial Order running around in the format, even two Vanity's Emptiness as well, people don't want to deal with this shit. I will say, trap cards are way more physically playable in this format than Modern Era Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why, players try to find out. So with this, also, if my Imperial Order get turned off, my Mystic Mind gonna have some bad times. Also, we are playing Shock Lock. We are playing the Ptolemy Omega 7, which is kind of a cool little tech piece along the way, but I think, with all of the Rizal variants that you've seen in this format, just slap your helmet on and go. Also, no Dweller in this list. That's very interesting for a tech choice. I don't know why they chose not to do that, but it's one that I wouldn't personally play without. And then we have Machiora FTK. Ah, yes. The Banquet of Millions. So your whole goal is to find the Banquet of Millions and then burn your entire extra deck. And then once you take all of your extra deck, we're just going to go ahead and ping your opponent for 300 for each of their remove from play cards. That is just the whole point of this. You find Banquet of Millions, set 2DD Dynamite. Congratulations, you just win the game off of this. I also see we're playing Ring of Destruction as well. It is funny to me that we do have access to Ring of Destruction as a help you along the way sort of win con. Being able to roll this up and then roll up like a DD Dynamite. Maybe didn't quite hit the number on the DD Dynamite to kind of clear things up, but you've got your numbers here to be able to do exactly as you need to do, which is cool. And then our last list is more Rizal action. I told you, Unlimited format is just where Rizal goes to play the game. You also got the triple dimension shifters. We are actually main decking the Confiscation to kind of dig on in to the matchup. I see we have the Imperial Orders as well. And of course, we're side decking some Royal Oppressions as well. But I feel like the tools that you've got within this deck is actually, pretty good. So overall, pretty interesting format to look at and actually to analyze, you know, why certain things are doing well. And I do fully look forward to seeing how this format's going to shape up more in the future. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.